Climates of the Same Soul, short story by JameliaAlicia. They were born 12 minutes apart, but the world split them by oceans. Ophelia grew where rain fell like breath, tropical, loud, green. The air wrapped itself around her ankles, and the sun never asked permission. She learned early that nature spoke first in color: the blue of morning seas, the violent pink of hibiscus, the slow gold of dusk. She listened. Eliah grew where silence was architectural and industrial: concrete, glass, winter. The sky there was pale and distant, like something forgotten. He learned that stillness had a sound: trains sighing underground, snow pressing against windows, his own thoughts echoing back to him. They did not know each other. They only knew the mirror. A connection between both realities. It appeared when they turned 17, unannounced and unmovable, standing where no mirror had ever stood before, in Ophelia's home. It rose from the tiled floor of her grandmother's house, framed in driftwood and salt. In Eliah's apartment, it replaced the bedroom wall overnight, tall and silver, cool as frost. These mirrors came with no intention and purpose. It was a symbolic message and ghostly shadow. At first, the mirror reflected what mirrors always do: posture, doubt, the subtle weight of becoming. But then it began to change. When Ophelia stood before it, the glass breathed. Condensation formed, then cleared, revealing a rainforest path curling inward. Vines trembled, as if expecting her. The air on the other side shimmered with warmth. When Eliah stood before his, the mirror darkened into depth. Snow gave way to water, water to jungle light. Palm leaves bent toward him, foreign and impossible, reflecting his nature and his connection to tropical forest. Neither touched the glass at first. Instinct told them the mirror was not a window, but a question. The mirrors responded to who they were, not who they wanted to be. Ophelia, who feared stillness, saw paths that never stopped moving: rivers, storms, growth without pause. Eliah, who feared chaos, saw life uncontained: humidity, insects, heat, pulse. And yet each time they stepped away, the image shifted slightly. The jungle calmed, the storms softened, as if learning them in return. The mirrors only responded to their nature and nothing else. One night, same hour, different hemispheres, they touched the glass. The surface rippled like water struck by memory. They stepped through. The jungle on the other side was neither place nor fantasy. It was balance, a clearing where sunlight filtered evenly, where roots did not trip the feet, and silence did not suffocate. In the center stood another mirror, older, cracked, alive. And in it, they saw each other. Not reflections, recognition and acknowledgement of one's presence. They understood without words. Twins shaped by opposite landscapes, separated so each could carry what the other lacked. The mirror had not been a door to escape, but a bridge correcting a fracture time had made, and forming a bridge of connection. Ophelia felt calm settle in her chest, unfamiliar but welcome. Eliah felt warmth rise under his skin, frightening and alive. They did not cross into each other's worlds. They did not need to. The mirrors closed gently after that night, returning to ordinary glass. But something had changed. Ophelia learned to rest without guilt. Eliah learned to move without fear. Sometimes, when the light hits just right, they swear the mirror breathes back. Not opening, remembering. Because some twins are not meant to share a place, only a balance of nature. Years passed, but not in the same way for both of them. Ophelia noticed it first in her dreams. She would be walking along the shoreline at dawn, when the sand hardened into glass beneath her feet. Every wave froze mid-breath. In the distance, a figure stood still, not watching her, but waiting. When she woke, her heart felt steadier, as if it had been held overnight. Eliah felt it in the waking world. In train stations and empty offices, reflections lingered a fraction too long. Windows caught his outline and softened it, warming the sharp edges of his thoughts. He began choosing color without knowing why. Green scarves, amber lamps, plants that thrived despite his forgetfulness. They did not speak. They did not need to. The balance they had found in the clearing did not disappear when the mirrors closed. It threaded itself quietly into their lives, like a shared breath taken across continents. Then the mirrors changed again, not with doors or landscapes this time, but with cracks. Ophelia found the first fracture running through the center of the glass in her grandmother's house, thin as a vein. When she pressed her palm against it, the mirror pulsed, warm and unsteady. Eliah discovered his that same morning, a spiderweb of silver fractures spreading outward, as if something inside the mirror had shifted its weight. They both understood at once. The mirror was failing, or perhaps it had done its work too well. That night, the mirrors no longer reflected rooms or faces. They reflected memory. Ophelia saw a snow-covered street she had never walked, her breath clouding the air. She felt loneliness so quiet it had no name. Eliah saw a child running barefoot through rain, laughter tangled with thunder. He felt the exhaustion of endless movement, the fear of never being still. The mirror was no longer teaching them about the other. It was asking something in return, a passage of existence. The cracks widened. The glass groaned, low and animal, like earth shifting beneath a forest. If the mirror broke, whatever balance it had held would scatter. Ophelia reached for it first, not to pass through, but to steady it. She stood still, truly still, and breathed. The jungle she carried inside her quieted. Leaves stilled. Rivers slowed. Across the world, Eliah did the opposite. He pressed both hands to the glass and let warmth flood forward. Memory, pulse, risk. The choice to live without containment. The mirrors responded. The cracks sealed, not erased, but transformed. Lines of gold filling the fractures, binding weakness into strength. The glass grew opaque, no longer a passage, no longer a teacher, just a mirror. When it cleared, they saw only themselves. And yet, something remained. Ophelia no longer feared silence. She learned to sit beneath trees without needing to run. Eliah no longer feared disorder. He learned to step into heat, into crowds, into uncertainty. They never met in the physical world. But sometimes, when Ophelia stands near water at dusk, she feels cold air brush her wrist. Sometimes, when Eliah watches snow melts into pavement, he smells rain-soaked earth. The mirror had not united them. It had distributed them. Two lives, balanced across the world, each carrying what the other once held alone. And somewhere, beyond glass and geography, the clearing still exists, and the mirrors became a map into unknown realities, a window of truth into hidden identities.